to grave, one in the same, traced unchangeably in black ink.
When did you decide you wanted to be a musician, and were you involved in music as a child?
Well, I mean, as far as when did I know I wanted to be involved in music, I'd have to say day one. You know, I grew up in a house where music was playing all the time, and really it was everything, a little bit of everything. And I think it's like when I started to find all the old like rock albums, Black Sabbath, Kiss, shit like that on vinyl.
I grew up in a house like that too. My mom had a ton of music. We always listened to everything on vinyl.
That's what's up.
At what point did you personally feel like you had succeeded as a musician, and what are you still striving for?
Well, I always, I mean, it's a small goal, but I always used to say that when my music became distributed nationally, I felt like that was, you know, making it enough for me. And I guess what I'm trying to do now is just continue to make the type of music that the people that follow me want to hear, and touch people, reach people's lives. That's about it.
Of the albums that you've recorded, what is your favorite album that you've recorded and why?
I'd say my favorite album so far, personally, is Paranormal. And I would say that because I went through a lot of personal stuff when I made that record. So, I don't know, it's like it's a bittersweet album, but it probably means the most to me overall.
I can see that where it would be the most personal to you. As far as your writing process goes, do you have a specific process? Is there things that you always do every time you sit down and write an album? What's your process like?
My process is, it's pretty weird. I mean, first of all, I don't really necessarily have one, but I guess the closest I come to having a process is I need to get extremely caffeinated. You know, I drink a lot of coffee. I get manic and weird.
It's kind of manic, yeah.
Yeah, just really weird and shit.
Yeah.
And then it takes a little while to start getting, you know, a week or two to start getting where I need to be. And then once you kind of get in the zone, it just goes from there.
Right.
You know? So I think really what it is you think you need to get to a certain, you think you need these things, but really you don't. I think it's more like getting back into the zone, you know? Eventually your brain likes to unlock that, but it just takes a minute.
Sometimes that manic state, I feel like, is where you get the most done.
Yeah, I think so too.
Personally, yeah. After you record your albums, do you have a process? Is there certain people that you share the album with to kind of bounce things off of before you actually release it, after you've recorded the tracks? What is that process like for you?
I would say that process, once the material is recorded, I listen to it a lot just to see if there's any last minute things I want to change, even if it's just the arrangement of the track listing.
Yeah, definitely.
Or just a little thing in the mix, stuff like that. You know, I will show it to, you know, to people that are closest to me.
Like
you know?
who do you show it to?
Well, I mean, the engineer, you know, that's, you know, you're pretty close to your engineer while you're in the studio, you know, vibe out with them, and just certain people behind the scenes in my life.
Certain artists kind of have a process, you know, here, what do you think of this before they actually release it? I just, you know, was kind of wondering what that process was for you. So working with and touring with Tech N9ne, what is that like? That's got to be crazy.
It's definitely crazy. I've been working with Tech and touring with Tech N9ne for, well, since 2004, I believe.
Wow.
Or 3, I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a great thing. I mean, I was a part of Strange early on at the beginning,
right.
You know, and I've watched the massive evolution of it. And it's an honor, it's a privilege, I can say that, you know, and it's astounding how much bigger it just keeps getting.
Hey, if you hear me in the background, Prozak that shit. That's that dude last video, Prozak that shit. It's new here, call it that.
Do you guys get crazy? Like, tell me some crazy experiences with Tech N9ne.
Crazy experiences?
Like touring with Tech N9ne, it's got to be nuts. Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, well, back in the day, Tech, you know, it was really crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because he would just, like, explode onto the bus.
Right.
Caribaloos fucking flying around. It's like a tornado, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like he's been more inclusive now, right? Or...
Well, you know, it's just, I mean, fuck, dude's so big now, you know, I mean, he always was, but now it's just on a ridiculous level. So, I mean, you know, he doesn't have the freedom, I don't think, you know, but because, you know, his time is so limited because it's having to be given out to everybody.
Right.
Every day, all the time, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but, you know, fuck, he lives it. He gives himself away to everybody all the time.
Absolutely.
So that's a real artist.
Yeah. I feel like that's definitely probably been part of your success as being, you know, part of Strange and everything,
Oh, yeah.
and really being promoted by that label.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
It's the biggest independent label in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's your favorite musician or group to tour with, and why? I know you've been with Twiztid, with Fright Fest. As far as like groups that you tour with, or individual artists.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really pick a favorite. I mean, you
Well,
know.
some.
All right,
Let's hear some.
touring with Twiztid is phenomenal. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like, I'm from Michigan. Obviously, they're from Michigan.
Absolutely.
I grew up, you know, to their material. They're good friends. I just toured with them not that long ago.
Right. I saw
Always
you
a
with
great
Fright Fest.
experience. Yeah,
Fright
I mean,
Fest
literally,
in
it's always a
October.
great experience. I mean, it really is. And they're fucking awesome people, you know. And then touring with Tech, obviously, you know, the huge crowds, and that's the label I'm on, so that's a great thing. I don't know, I got love for everybody I've toured with. You know, everyone has something different to offer you, and you know, you got to be grateful for the opportunity.
Absolutely. I'm sure you learn a little bit from each.
Totally, absolutely.
Yeah, or take something different from each group that you tour with.
Now, what I'd like to see is all of them tour together at least one fucking time.
The gathering.
One time.
You got the gathering.
But I mean, like a tour, you know what I mean? Just give it to
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit of everybody.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
One of
absolutely.
these days, the whole underground would be awesome.
That'd be awesome. All right, this means a lot to me personally. Can you share
The fucking NASCAR speech.
It's like 35.
You're right.
some of the most powerful stories that your fans have come to you with, or gifts that they've given you? And again, this
Yeah.
means a lot to me personally.
I mean, there's a lot. You know, I mean, yesterday, as a matter of fact, our hotel is in Huntington, Indiana, which is like 40 miles from here. Thanks to, you know, to the guy that booked that for us. 45 minutes. But,
Almost an hour, yeah.
well, you know, maybe it's for a reason, because I'm walking into a coffee shop and there's a guy there, and you know, he recognized me, and we started talking, and he tells me that he plays Before We Say Goodbye at his mother's funeral. And that's just not something you hear every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, needless to say, that's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, what can I say when you know, a lot of people say things like that they've played, you know, songs of mine at people's funerals. Songs have gotten them off of drugs, drug addiction. I had a girl tell me that tonight, that she quit doing very hardcore drugs, 2 years sober now. And I hear a lot of that. And you asked me earlier, you know, what's my goals now? I mean, it's not about money. I could give a fuck less. I really
Right.
could. You know, that's why, I mean, you know, you see that I put a lot of my time into filmmaking. And, you know, there's a lot of money I can make in music if I wanted to tour more. I don't care about that, you know? But hearing stuff like that,
I think that's the most powerful. Like, that means more than money.
yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine somebody telling you that something on the road got them off of drugs or saved their life? That's really humbling, and it makes you realize that that's the type of material you should be doing.
Right.
You know, you're on the right path, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What about gifts? Has anybody ever given you any kind of
I get a lot of
gifts?
crazy gifts. Yeah,
Like
I
what?
do.
I saw some kind of doll thing, right? Or a...
Yeah, I get everything from voodoo dolls to tonight I got a 4-leaf clover somewhere in my pocket. I get a lot of handwritten stuff. I get a lot of pieces of art.
Photographs.
I do get photographs. I get some really other weird shit. You know, sometimes.
You
Interesting.
keep that all like
I do.
in some place.
I've got a really weirdo collection. It all goes, when I'm on the road, it all goes into a big tote, and then that tote gets emptied. You know, if some shit's a little too weird, you know, like dead animals,
Oh.
and yes, that's happened. You know, sometimes you're like, thanks, and thank you for that. And you just kind of put it in the tote, and then everyone's like, fuck, because the tote stinks, you know. I got a dead goat more than once.
Oh, dead goat.
A dead goat.
Oh, jeez. I don't
Where
think
does
I
one
even wanna
find
know
a
that
dead
story.
goat?
Yeah, where does one find a dead goat? Apparently they thought I wanted to get I guess they thought I was a Luciferian. I don't know. Not me.
I gotta do the obligatory question about your musical influences. Tell me about growing up, musicians that influenced you.
Man.
Recently,
Well,
your style of music.
My style of music's kind of all over the place because I like
Yeah,
a little bit
definitely.
of everything.
Yeah, no,
and
I
I'm
can
sure
tell.
everyone pretty much says that same thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just being honest. Like, I like old shit, and I like a lot of metal. You know, metal speaks to me. For some reason, I think just venting out angry. You know, just, I don't
I
know.
can feel that with the new album.
Yeah, it was.
Kinda, yeah,
that,
like more
it
than
it,
some
it
of the
held
others.
me out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just like these people here will come to me and say, "Your song did this and your song did that, and it helped me through this and it stopped me from that."
Absolutely.
Metal did that for me. You know, so it was a way of like outletting rage and shit without like killing a bunch of people, which wouldn't be a good thing.
I
Would
feel
it?
like that's what a lot of us are in it for. Is
Yeah.
an outlet.
It's an outlet. It is.
Yeah,
It's
almost
therapy.
like watching horror movies. It's the same kind of thing.
It is. It's therapy.
Yeah.
You're like, I kind of want to do this, but I'll just watch it.
Like, I'll listen to this track 10 times on repeat and not kill my coworker.
Right.
Instead, kind of have an outlet besides actually going nuts. But I feel like Twiztid talks about that quite a bit, and I watched an interview with him a couple days ago. They're like,
There's
this is an
no doubt
outlet.
about that. I see Twiztid fans when I'm on tour with them, and you can tell that music is therapy
Yeah, absolutely.
to that audience.
Yeah.
And they're thankful for Twiztid. Twiztid is thankful for them. That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100%. We touched on this a little bit, but I want to come back to it. Being from Saginaw, Michigan, where you're at in the Midwest, how do you think that affects your lyrics, your music, what you rap about, versus, say, if you lived on the East Coast or the West Coast? In the Midwest.
Midwest is predominantly grimy. It's gritty. We're poorer than everybody else. We have shittier weather than everybody else. It's basically always fucking winter.
Yeah.
It's dreary. People are pissed off, broke, industrial.
It's a bad economy.
Bad economy. It's old rundown cities and shit. So yeah, it gives us a darker outlook on everything. But at the same time, I think it makes us stronger too. And it's that character and obviously.
Like rising from the ashes.
Yeah, absolutely. The underground Detroit music scene spread all over the place, and there's a reason for that because people can, they can identify the depth and the soul, of that material.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. What do you have coming up? What kind of projects can we look forward to? I know I bought some of your DVDs tonight. Any videos that you have coming for the Black Ink album? What's coming up for you?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see, maybe another video for Black Ink. That's more than possible.
You have a lot of guests on that.
I do. Yeah, and basically the reason for that was, again, I wanted it to be different. The album prior to that, We All Fall Down,
Right.
Minimal guests. Almost nobody was on there.
You got everybody
Right?
on Black Ink. Everybody.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
love
do that
it.
sometimes,
Yeah.
I set out to make something very opposite the last album. Why I keep doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
So
it keeps everybody interested,
Yeah.
I think.
But I just wrapped up
Something
a new
different.
film. It's a Haunting on Dice Road.
Now, is this part of the other
Series?
Haunting
Yep.
series that you've
It's
done?
the 7th installment.
Okay, we're coming back to that. Before we come back to that, I want to ask you about PDM. A lot of your songs are very political, and I don't know a lot about politics. I kind of try to stay out of it. I don't vote. I don't complain about stuff. It's just not really one of my interests. But how do you feel about the state of politics today? We're coming up on another election. Anything you want to share?
Honestly, there's so much I could say, you know what I mean? But one thing I've learned about politics is people around me, when I learn their politics, I find out that I maybe don't like them. And vice versa. So I think there's a reason why they say stay away from religion and politics. And what's the other one? They call it the big three. I forget what it is. Whatever the fuck it is. But I mean, I think we're fucked. I think we're headed for a very, very bad place. And I think that the enemies of the United States are destroying us from within, and they're doing it without firing a single shot. It's the demoralization of the United States, and God, there's so much I could say about that. But yeah,
I don't really know where I'm coming from.
let's just say there's a sickening, progressive, communist agenda.
Where do you see
well in
our
the
country
works.
in 4 years with the new president? What do you see happening?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You don't know?
I think that we need to worry about ourselves, our borders, our people, and fuck everything else. You know, and fuck hurting other people's feelings as well. I think America should come first. We have to protect ourselves. That's what I think.
That's good. Chris Calico on the DVD that was with the CD, yeah, mentioned that he and you kind of share some issues with anxiety. I've noticed a lot of mental health issues as kind of a theme for some of your tracks.
Yeah.
How does that affect your music and performing, being, having issues with anxiety?
Well, I mean, I used to have anxiety quite a bit a long time ago. I don't really have it anymore.
What changed?
Well, I know a lot of people that do have anxiety. You're probably one of them, right? And so you're like, all right, what did you do to beat it? But honestly, I don't really know. I just got to the point where it's like, with anxiety or panic attacks, it's like you always think you're gonna die or some shit. You eventually just have to get to the point where you're like, okay, yeah, whatever. Who gives a fuck? It happens.
I'm ready
it happens,
to die.
And honestly, easier said than done. But if you can't change the things that are bothering you, then quit worrying about it.
Yeah.
And if you can change them, then the anxiety is nature's way of saying you're fucking up. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Move and get the fuck on.
Figure something else out. Change things. Yeah.
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 So I think that once I started doing what I should have been doing, I feel like a lot of that, just kind of went away. But it's easier said than done.
Do you
We
feel
all
like
find our way.
talking with fans, hanging out, you feel like that made it worse, made it better?
It's different things, I mean, for some people, I know if they have anxiety really bad, they talk about it, they get anxiety.
Yeah.
Some people talking helps, and some people it makes it worse. I don't know.
Do you
crazy.
think being aware of it made it better for you? Just kind of being aware of the fact that you have anxiety issues?
I don't think it did. I mean, I think being sick of it is what helped. Just being fed up with it and not caring.
I just be like,
because now I
I
endure so much stress now than I ever have before, and it really doesn't bother me at all. So you just got to fight your way through it.
Yeah.
Really.
Cool. When you signed with Strange, what was that like? Can you tell me about the events leading up to it, what it was like for you, what you felt like signing with Strange music?
Well, it's a lot to sum up, but basically I used to help out Strange Music, with helping to push and distribute promotional materials around the Midwest, and particularly in my region.
Yeah.
And
You're from Saginaw, Michigan.
Saginaw.
Yeah.
So I did a song with Tech during this time period, and then at some point, Strange wanted to hear it. I sent it to him, and then they flew me out to LA a couple days later.
Fucking with
Such
you.
is life.
That's up there.
That's right.
Full mode. Dope.
You got the track.
I did a dance just like he did, and then that's why they signed me. So he might get a record.
Oh, nice, right?
I'm not guaranteeing that for the record.
The opinions of Prozak may not be endorsed by the record label.
But anyway, I don't know.
There's only a few people on the label who got the charm. What was that like?
Getting the charm was awesome. I mean, it's a symbol I've been wearing for a long time, either on the back of a leather jacket or on all the merchandise. I seen Mayday recently got theirs, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Absolutely. So, we're going to talk about your films.
My phones?
Your films. You've worked on some short films. I bought 2 of them tonight.
They're full length. They're features.
They're not short films.
Nope.
Features.
They are features.
Tell me about them.
Well, I've conducted 7 total paranormal investigations. The investigations are 70 to 80-minute DVDs. 6 of them are available now on DVD. If you go to hauntedsaginaw.com.
That's where I was going to ask where we can find them. Hauntedsaginaw.com.
Hauntedsaginaw.com.
Okay. There's 7.
Yeah, there's 6 available. One's coming out this October.
I saw you had a new one coming.
Yeah, I premiere one every fall.
Yeah,
Got
I
to
knew
get
that
on the
you had it.
website.
We do use a Canon. This is a Nikon person.
I'm a Nikon person.
We are going to fight as soon as this camera's on.
Wow.
There's,
My money's on Turbo.
there's trains.
I'm just saying.
Nikons, cameras,
I know from experience.
trains, fire trucks. Okay, so on these films, you investigate the paranormal. What more? Like, what got you into that? Can you go into kind of depth of what you do on the film?
Well, we go into locations that are said to be haunted, and we try to capture paranormal activity using videos, audio recorders, and several other devices.
What kind of devices?
We do K2 meters, we check for electromagnetic spikes or any weird anomalies there. We use infrared cameras, we use thermal imaging, digital recorders, stuff like that.
What are some of the most frightening experiences you've ever had investigating paranormal?
I think, short of seeing very strange things, I think the being pushed or shoved or
Being touched by something you can't see.
being burnt,
kind of?
actually.
Yeah, really?
Being burnt, that's actually happened to me very recently. In fact, I have 3 big scars right now.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call them other than burns because they swelled up like burns. And
And it was 3.
it was 3. Yeah.
In there.
That's not good. What are you gonna do about it? Do you have like you just hanging out with your 3 burn scratches, or?
They're gonna, I'm not gonna get some plastic surgery.
What can you
Yeah,
do?
like, do you have like, have you thought about a priest, or like, do you have
No.
anything like that? I want to know what got you interested in paranormal. Do you have a near death experience? It sounds like you lost a sibling. Maybe?
I grew up in a house that was haunted.
Okay.
And had a lot of really weird things happen there.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where people didn't believe it, and then all of a sudden they started to experience the same things.
Oh, and
Then we had some
believed it.
family come, spend a week, and then they started saying, what's going on with this and what's going on with that. And this is what we're seeing. Then it got to the point where it couldn't be ignored. So that's pretty much where it started.
How old were you when this was happening?
I was 8,
Okay.
7 or 8.
You just kind of got interested in it.
Yeah, I was very interested in it. Kind of centered around me to a degree.
When did you first start to try to find proof? Like, what was your first experience in trying to? Did you take a tape recorder?
That's exactly what I did.
EMF? Yeah.
Yeah, I was 14 years old, and I read this article. This is obviously way before Ghost Hunters or any TV show of any kind. And this article literally talked about taking a tape recorder and putting it in a graveyard, letting it run, and then playing it back to hear voices.
What'd
And
you
I
hear?
thought, that's pretty insane. Will
Yeah.
it work? Nothing definitive, lots of whispering, lots of chatter. At first, we weren't sure if it was possibly just the wind or, maybe you're trying to hear something that's not there. So that led, that kind of opened the beginning of, a long relationship with the paranormal, I guess you could say.
So my next question is about your first paranormal experience. So can that kind of be answered with that last question?
Well, I was pretty young, and this was the same house, so things, I'm sure things have happened that I really don't remember.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I kind of vividly remember was whatever was in the house used to open the door almost at the same time every night,
Really?
and I would see it peek in, and it was very tall, and it was like a shadow, but it was completely black.
Okay.
I mean, it was just solid,
Yeah.
and it would do this over and over and over and over.
Did you get any kind of feelings when that happened? Or you
Yeah, I did.
see it?
It was
or-
honestly the way to explain it was like, how when your arm gets near something that's statically charged and all the hair stands
Kinda
up.
goosebumps,
It's
yeah.
like that, but it's your entire body.
Okay.
It's the weirdest feeling. It's almost like I can't really describe it. But that's how I would feel. you know, and it's like there would be a static in the air, if you will.
Do you know what it was? Did you ever have anything that told you this is
2 people were murdered
something?
in that house.
Okay.
25 years, I believe, before we ended up living in it.
Okay.
I'm thinking that had something to do with it.
I think a lot of people kind of have some sort of thought about what they're seeing.
Yeah.
When, you know, if they know
I was
a
pretty young.
history
I had no idea what I was seeing. Honestly, I used to, when I thought people were breaking in the house, I tried
Really?
to tell my
It
parents.
was that vivid.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I thought somebody was breaking in, and you know, and several attempts to figure out if that was possible were done. You know, but then it got to the point where it couldn't really be denied what was
Did your
happening.
family believe you? Did you
Well,
tell
it started
them,
to
or-
happen to them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did you stay in that house? Did you move out when you were a teenager, or did?
I was in that house for another 5-6 years.
And it happened that whole time.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it got worse, and then we left.
Is that why you left?
Yeah, yeah. There's, you know, anyone that's that doesn't believe in paranormal, it's like something may happen to them one day, and then everything changes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we're all energy. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
It doesn't disappear.
Have you ever met a personal spirit that you feel like you're connected with when you've done your investigations, when you lived in this home, like a personal connection with the spirit?
No,
No.
I really haven't, and I don't take things. I don't take things at face value. So I think if you're communicating with the spirit and it tells you who it is, how do you know that's true?
Right.
So I
Yeah, you could
tend not
have
to
something
believe.
demonic coming off as a child, or
Yeah. Or, you know, even if it's something that's not demonic, you know, it could just be something that's deceptive either way. So I don't take anything to word.
so you never came across something that you felt that it was that you personally connected with. Couple other questions from Juggalo new staff members. Do you own any vessels, like objects that spirits are connected to, that you own or have taken from
I do.
Purchase.
Yeah, I have a very, I have a very large collection actually of things that are supposedly significant in cases that I've bought, and then things that I know were significant in cases that I was a part of that I've kept. So I have quite a large collection.
Do you have any dream places that you want to investigate that you haven't?
Yeah, I do. But you know, it's not even a priority to me, if you can believe that. I'm just weird like that. I think that things I'm meant to be a part of, they happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you know, I'm not going to worry about plugging it, so to speak, but the new film that we just wrapped, I've never seen a story like this, ever. I mean, to me, it trumps anything, even that I've seen on TV, movies, anything. And it just literally came to me from nowhere.
I have dreams about tattoos. That's how I end up with my tattoos. I'll have a dream, or like I'll feel something, and then so I totally understand where you're coming from with that.
Feel me on that?
Yeah. Last few questions. What would you tell somebody if they're interested in beginning to investigate the paranormal, or just starting, or interested in getting into it? Any warnings? Any advice?
Yeah, I would tell them, you know, be very careful. Be careful where you go. Be careful who you speak to. Don't believe everything you hear. And, you know, be careful for many reasons. Walking around dark places, abandoned places, it's a good way to get hurt or killed by somebody. And, you know, things can follow you home. I am starting to realize that. So that definitely is true, and that can happen. So, you know, it's, what's the best way to say it? It's not what you see on TV, basically.
Proceed with
Do it at your own
caution.
risk.
Yeah.
You know, you play, you pay.
As you're doing this tour, this is the first date on this The Blank Date
Black Ink
tour. Any places that you plan on hitting up while you're on tour? Any investigations? Any food spots?
No
any-
investigations.
No.
I'm a big coffee connoisseur, so I'll be at every highly rated coffee shop in every major city that we attend. That's
brother
my big
works at
thing.
one. Just
Does he?
yeah.
I'm a coffee junkie. That's my thing. I really truly enjoy that. Caffeine, lots of it.
So no investigations. Just
No.
coffee spots.
Lots of coffee.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
As an OG, I want to know, is there any Project Deadman coming in the future?
Yeah, PDM.
Mike
Oh,
is
shit.
my guy.
Me and Mike talk about that all the time. And both of us want to do it. And it's actually almost happened more than people realize. But literally, it's always some shit, you know? Like, he'll be ready, and and I can't because...
Like Mikey Clark.
Yeah.
He's
Why
like
not?
he's
Because
big
I'll be
time with
halfway
Kid
through a
Rock, and
record
he's
or
fucking all
something.
over the place, you know.
Exactly. So either I'm
Wrong
on
place,
tour or
wrong
I'm doing
time.
a record, and he's free
Right.
and wants to do it, you know, or vice versa or whatever. It's always something.
I would love to see another
Yeah.
PDM.
Just saying.
Yeah.
As an old school,
Love
I would
it.
love to
I
see
always
it.
tell Mike, I always
I don't
say,
know
you
if
know
it's
what,
gonna
let's
happen.
just do a fucking song. Because we
Right.
always want to do this epic shit. Like, it has to be a whole album. And
no.
we're going to do this. It's like, let's just do a song. And then let's just start there. Start
Right.
somewhere, and then you never know where it might
Just a
go.
little taste.
But, yeah,
That's all
we,
it's gonna
me
take.
and Mike are always in conversation, though. You know, he's a friend for life.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave with any special messages you're gonna leave with us. Promote your tour. The hashtag you're using, the Black Ink Tour, right?
The Black Ink Tour, yeah. There's a whole bunch of things I could say and a whole bunch of things I can plug. But honestly, you know, thank you guys and thank everybody out there for watching, for coming to the shows, for supporting underground music. It's really about them guys.
Well, we appreciate
Them.
everything you do, and they appreciate what you do. It's big reciprocation.
We could all just fucking drink coffee, right?
Coffee
Hell yes.
and beer.
And we can drink that too.
You know,
We
you
could
can brew-
snort
you can brew
lines
beer
of
with coffee.
espresso.
There you go.
Chalk that shit up.
We can intermingle the two.
Well, thanks for doing this for us. Appreciate it. And the Black Ink Tour.
The Black Ink Tour. Hashtag snort espresso lines.
Hashtag snort espresso lines.
Yeah. Hashtag inject Java into your lens.
Cradle to grave.